Hello everyone, we're back for some more Super Wars V. Let's go ahead and continue to episode 3. So it looks like we're still on Mars. We're by the grave of Sasha. So Mori's here, and she's looking at the grave, along with Kodai and Shima. And Shima's just saying that, telling her that she had already passed away by the time they reached her. Yeah, and despite the fact that she brought the hope for Earth all by herself, taking the long journey, the only thing they could do was dig a grave for her. And they're determined more than ever to try to reach Iskandel for her sake. Yeah, so Koda is just promising in his thoughts to make sure that they could get through the journey. And for some reason Soji's here and he's not comfortable with these type of sentimental situations. And Tobia's here too, and he's telling him he should have just stayed back at Yamato. Oh. Despite that, he came here for a reason, I guess. Soji. And he's calling Tobia Mr. Skullheart. Oh, Belnadette is here too. She wants to know why Soji's here. But Soji's saying it's a secret. And he doesn't like being sentimental as well. Although he's just thinking that in his head. He didn't say it out loud. Koda's thanking Tobia for taking him back here. And then Tobia also wanted to thank Sasha as well. And yeah, it looks like Tobia will be tagging along all the way to Jupiter. And Shima wants to ask him something, I guess. Oh, okay, so he wants to erase the skull mark from the chest of the Gundam. The reason being that as a ship crew, they have a hard time accepting pirates, I guess. But Tobia is saying that the whole that skull heart is kind of like a memento for inheriting the Crossbone Vanguard. So Shima's just saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. I was just joking." Tobia's like, "Are you sure? You sounded very serious." Kora is asking for forgiveness for Shima because I guess Shima's family has always been a space what would you call it? Space traveler, I guess, but more like spaceship travelers, I guess. So they've been, I guess because of that, they don't really care for pirates all that much. And Soldier's like, "Oh, I didn't know about that." And he's commenting how Shima's father's probably very proud of him. But Shima's saying his father passed away during the first battle with Gamilus on Earth. Or maybe not on Earth, but the first battle between Earth and Gamilus. And he's saying, "Sorry about that." He's like, "Don't worry about it," but he's more excited about taking off to Jupiter now. Oh, and it looks like they're gonna test out the warp for the first time. And Bernadette still can't believe that they're gonna be able to get to between Mars to Jupiter in a blink of an eye when it usually takes a few days. But of course, if they can't succeed with the warp, there's no way they're gonna make it to Iskandel, considering how far it is. So, but yeah, Soldier's commenting how the warp to Jupiter is kind of a small step, but it's a big step for humanity's last hope. And Toby is thinking that there's probably going to be a battle against the Jupiter Empire there. And he's wondering how much enemies there and why they decided to start attacking. Well, wondering if they really are trying to attack Earth. So they've reached the warp start point, and I guess they're gonna warp now. So I thought the Yamato was just gonna drop off Tobia, but it looks like they're also gonna help with stopping the Jupiter Empire if it's required. Yeah, Okita said like it's not on their schedule, but this is to protect our home. But that all really depends on whether or not the warp they're going to attempt is going to succeed. So. Sanada is saying that the chief engineer for Tokugawa is reporting no problems with the main engine. Yeah, and there's the Yamato's main engine. Maki? Oh, Yabu. Jesus. So he's questioning whether or not they could actually bend space and time. And Tokugawa's like, I don't know. But they'd have to try to find out. And I guess they're in the Yamato infirmary. Sawatari, this doctor, is excited that he could drink some sake while they travel through the subdimension, I guess. Haru's like, Doctor, why are you drinking at this time? Oh, but he's already tried to celebrate. But he's been obviously he likes to drink his sake, so he's been finding different reasons, excuses to be able to drink. So Harada's a little annoyed and, well, kind of giving up. I guess Kato has been kind of mumbling to himself for a while, and Toby is wondering what he's doing. And I guess he whispered to Soji, asking him if he knows, and Soji's like, oh, it's the monk prayer. So I guess his household was from a Japanese temple, so I guess he knows how to read off some prayers, Japanese prayers, or Buddhist prayers, I guess. Shinohara's commenting that this might be the end of them. Warp test start. 1 minute to go. Okay, so they've pinpointed the end of the warp, the end of the warp point, which is Jupiter orbit S8630. They locked on. They're increasing their speed from 12 to 33. S naught. Huh. So space naught maybe? 12 to 33 space naught? Whatever S naught is. 36. Counting down. Warp. Nice. And Jupiter orbit. I guess they succeeded. Warp complete. Check our location. And they're exactly on the place they want it to be. It's a success. They're all happy. And now Shima's just commenting how now they just have to extend the distance of the warps each time and they'll be able to get there. But Okita's like, don't get too carried away. Yeah, they're gonna check on the Jupiter Empire, do some reconnaissance. Yamato hangar. Is that Bernadette is asking where Toby is going. So, in the last battle on Mars, they apparently got some data that there's a base nearby, a Jupiter Empire base nearby. So he's gonna go out to do some recon. I guess Soji has been dragged along with him. And Toby is like, well, it's either that or you get scalded by Kato, Captain, or Kato leader. And so just like, no thanks. So I'll just, I'd rather fight Jupiter Empire than deal with that. But it seems like this is all actual orders, and Captain Okta is probably asked for him to go out on this mission. And Sanada is here and is like, it's probably because he has high hopes for you. And the soldier's like, oh, I'm impressed that the second in command is here to see me off. But he knows that what he's really after is to see the Vangray himself. And yeah, Sanada's like, yep, that's completely true. Yeah, and so because the warp was a success, now he has some time, and he wants to actually investigate his Soji's unit, the Vangray. Alright, so they're gonna take off now. Army is saying the analyzer, that weird red robot, had some kind of report, and she's asking why they're letting him take off. Maybe something dangerous on that unit or something, the Vangray. So she's like, why aren't we investigating the unit? Sanada agrees, but it looks like the captain has other plans for that unit. Yeah, I guess the captain might be thinking of a way to fight Gamales using Vangray. Well, let's see what he means by that. Oh, they're already fighting. They've defeated two of them, and they've got one left, and Toya's kind of holding him as hostage, I guess. He wants to try and interrogate him. So they want to capture him, but he's like, and they're guaranteeing his safety, but he's like, I'd rather do something. I'd rather do something than become a prisoner. And Toya's like, Soji thinks he's trying to run away, but Toya's like, no, I guess he's probably gonna kill himself. What? Okay. So he's like, Earth will soon meet its destruction, and he's saying that it'll die by the hands of Admiral Ray. Admiral Ray? Zeke Jupiter. It's almost like Zeke Xeon. And yeah, he just self-destructed. So, Toby is mentioning that the last battle against the Jupiter Empire, most of the soldiers of the Jupiter Empire were essentially kill themselves whenever, rather than be captured by the enemy. And so Soji's kind of surprised that that's still happening, because he thought by the death of the last leader that wasn't happening anymore. But Toby is not that surprised. He obviously knows that they haven't changed. But yeah, Soji's like, besides that, the last thing that the guy said is very, very interesting. And I guess Toby doesn't seem to know who Amuro Ray is, but Soji obviously knows. And yeah, it doesn't make sense, because Soji is saying like, oh, this is probably why Toby doesn't know, because apparently it's been 100 years since Amuro Ray was known as the ace pilot. So yeah, that's kind of weird that Amuro Ray is still around, because I guess the Shaw's rebellion happened many years ago, like 100 years ago, so that really doesn't make sense as to why Amuro Ray is still around. Yeah, so like Toby's like, yeah, that's almost when the 1 Year War had taken place. And yeah, they all know that he's a new type. The RX-78 Gundam. His units destroyed score is 100 units, or over 100 units. And yeah, like he stopped the Axis from falling on Earth. Biggest hero of the Earth Federation, I guess. And yeah, Toya is like, are you talking about the Shaw's rebellion? And so he's like, yeah, the phenomenon Axis shock, Amuro Ray was supposedly in the middle of that. And Toby is like, yeah, that sounds like an amazing person. And so she's like, I'm pretty sure half of it is probably made up. Just because Amuro Ray's kind of almost like a god in the Earth Federation. But yeah, they're like, why is he in the Jupiter Empire? And yeah, he is listed as missing in action, MIA, but that was years ago, and if he is still alive, he'll be over 100 years old. But Toby's like, if no one's confirmed that he's dead, then yeah, okay, so Soldier's like, either he was put to sleep cryo-frozen, or maybe he's become a cyborg. And Toby is mentioning that it's possible given the technology the Jupiter Empire has. So Soji's suggesting to Tobia that they should let Yamato know about the situation, and they'll still continue to head over to the base. And Soji's I guess Toya notices something. Oh, okay. So Toya is a little surprised that Soji is starting to take interest in this and taking point on this, because it didn't seem like he really cared about going on this mission earlier. And yeah, Soji is like, despite his personality, he's still a pilot, and if he hears Amuro Ray, then he does have quite a bit of interest in that. So this is interesting. I didn't think Amuro Ray's name would pop up here. The Meteor Memory, or Comet Memory. Episode 3. Okay, so there's the Jupiter Empire's base. And all those enemies. Well, Toby is commenting that there's no Gundam, so that's good news. But Soji's like, even if it's Amuro Ray, he may not even be on a Gundam. Yeah, okay, so the biggest reason being that the Empire really hates a Gundam, since the Crossbone Gundam was the one that stopped the Jupiter Empire last time, so it's hard to think that they would use a Gundam as one of their units, because it's essentially something that the Empire hates. And like, so she's like, you're riding a Gundam, and Toei's like, yeah, I don't really care. I don't really understand the importance of Gundam, but I do understand the importance of this X1. And he's like, this is something I got from Kinkaido. So Kinkaido was the former pilot of this Crossbone Gundam during the First Jupiter Empire War. And for those of you who actually watch Gundam F91, Kinkaido is actually Seibuk Ano, the pilot of Gundam F91. So Soji's like, he's relying on Tobia because Tobia is more experienced with fighting the Jupiter Empire. And Tobia's like, I guess he's gonna take point, so he's saying that we should take care of the enemies on the front line first. And so she's like, I hope the story of Amuro Ray is just a bluff. Okay, so defeat all enemies, don't let anyone die, and do it in 3 turns for the SR point. Let's see, what is 1, 2, there's... Uh-oh, my DualShock's battery is pretty low. I should be able to finish it before the end of this story, so let's see. I don't think I need to use any special actions because everything is upgraded. Okay, so let him go there. Let him go here. And phase. So this should be able to kill... I think Tobiya will be able to kill a lot of the enemies. Alright, he's using the brand marker. I think this is the shield saber.
白い悪魔に裁きの雷を。動きの癖はつかめてきた。あとはこの機体はキンキドゥさんの魂ごと受け継いだんだ。
Oh, that's not a brand marker. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's the brand marker. So you get to see all the neat little hidden weapons on the Crossbone Gundam with that. Level 3. Yeah, he's probably gonna take out everyone. Let him do that. So yeah, there's a dagger on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so should be able to kind of take out all the rest of them. Let's make him take out one of them. 100%.
執念深いんだよ、お前らは。こいつでぶち抜いてやる。エネルギー充填。当たれ
！Yeah, one hit. This is what happens when the character, or the mech, has been fully upgraded. Should I move? Yeah, I might want to move because I have a feeling that there's probably going to be more enemies that show up, so let's go ahead and do this. I think this will probably take them out. This screw whip. Yep. Alright, that was easy. Oh. I guess that's it. And Tobiya's like, well, we're able to somehow get rid of the first wave. And so it's just like, it doesn't seem like Amuro Ray was in that group. Or maybe we defeated Amuro Ray without knowing. And Tobiya's like, maybe, but before he could finish it. Now Tobiya is also a new type, so it looks like he just felt something. And Tobiya's like, what's this? What am I feeling? The pressure. And it's coming from the base. And Soldier's like, wait, Tobiya. And Tobiya's like, be careful, Solji. There's someone coming. There's something coming. And Soldier's like, what is it? And Tobiya's like, I don't know, but it's a Gundam? Whoa! Okay. Yeah, Tobiya's like, that was fast. And so it's like, could that be Amuro Ray? But Tobiya's like, I don't think so. But so it's like his pillow skills were insane. Huh, so Tobi's saying that he feels a similar pressure from both that unit and from the base itself. So Soji's like, so there must be multiple pilots for that unit? Jupiter Empire soldiers like laughing at the pirates. Well, he doesn't know that it's not really a pirate, like Toby is the only real pirate, but and yeah, he's commenting on an open channel. Huh. So he's telling them that the one controlling the unit called Amakusa is the legendary new type Armor Ray. And so it's just like, you gotta be joking, because there's no way a 100-year-old old man will be able to pilot that unit that way. Ah. He just corrected himself. In reality, it's Armor Ray's copy that's controlling it. Oh, okay, so for some reason they were able to get Armor Ray's unit's learning computer, which obviously learned all of Armor Ray's pilot skills during the fight in their first year war. And they use that record, the battle data, and it's multiple battle simulation using a bio brain that they just replicated. Ah, okay, so in the last Jupiter War, the leader, Crux Dogachi, created a biobrain, and he transferred a lot his brain patterns to each of those biobrains. So there was a bunch of these mobile armors that were controlled by him at once, although technically each of them was controlled by the biobrains themselves, but they were essentially clones in some ways. So they use that same technology, but instead of putting Dogachi's brain pattern into it, I guess they try to mimic Armor Ray's brain pattern using the battle data. And after like so many experiments and so many biobrains, they finally were able to replicate a biobrain that was almost pretty much a complete copy of Armor Ray's battle data. So he said like this is pretty much, you're pretty much fighting Armor Ray himself. And yeah, for some reason that unit really looks like a Gundam. Yeah, so it's got this most strongest battle skills, the ultimate battle skills, and follows their Jupiter Empire's orders to a T. It's their final weapon. And Soji's commenting how the curiosity has killed the cat. coming here curious about Amuro Ray seems to have put him in a very bad situation. But Toga's like, we can't leave them with that unit. They gotta stop it. And Soji agrees. But Soji's saying like, if they're able to defeat something that's like Amuro, he'll become more famous for that. Here we go. I'm assuming we get to fight it. Okay, so we have to defeat it. Let's see what it looks like. I'm very curious. Oh yeah. It's not quite a Gundam, but it definitely looks like a Gundam. Huh. So he's got a shield, he's got a beam rifle, beam saber, and hyper hammer. So he definitely has a similar weapon as a First Year War Gundam. The original Gundam. But, yeah, I don't think he's much of a threat, considering our characters are pretty much fully customized. I might even kill it in one hit. Oh, but he's definitely hard to hit. 81%? Fully customized, 81% is pretty significant. We'll see what happens. So, he's excited to fight the Amuro Ray, and he wants to bring it back as a nice story for the Air Force team. Although he's not confident if he could get back home safely. Okay. So it's like, even if it's a copy of Amuro Ray, he doesn't finish his sentence after that though. Funny enough. Alright, level up, so that's good. And Toyo's like, he's strong. Stronger than anything that they fought before. And Toyo's like, yeah, did you get hurt? What? Oh, I guess when they first got attacked, Toyo might have been injured a little bit. But he's like, the bleeding has stopped. And so she's like, fighting like this, he's starting to understand that Amuro Ray defeating 12 units in 12 enemy units in 3 minutes could be very true. And of course, Jupiter Empire soldier is really excited and he's like, "Good job, Amuxa. Keep at it." I guess they haven't mass produced it yet, but he's like, as soon as it is mass produced, they'll be able to take over the entire solar system. And so it's like, they're completely forgetting about the Gamilus. So, this is essentially a test bed for them, and they've got enough data, so now they're gonna try and finish the battle off now. Oh, hello. Soldiers, like, and this is like the dream battle against the ace pilot, and now we've got some people coming in to get in the way. And I guess Toya has some kind of plan. And and like Soji agrees to the plan even without hearing what the plan is. And Toya's like, "Oh, don't you want to know what the plan is?" And it's like, "I don't think I have time." And then she's like, "I have no plan, but you've been through quite a few battles as a pirate, so I trust you. At least my intuition says that." But he's kind of making a joke in Japanese, calling the computer as computer, con meaning intuition, so intuition computer. But Toby's like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," but he's leaving the rest to Soji. So Soji's gonna open up the Amakusa, and Toby's gonna follow, I guess. Huh. Toby, I guess the Vanguard has a very erratic behavior, movement, just because of the boosters and like how it's really just boosters with weapons. So I guess the programs doesn't know what to do with the Vanguard. And even if he's a new type, seeing something new is always going to delay them. And Toby is going to try and do some kind of move with the X1. See what he does.
最終兵器いや最終兵士なのかこのタイミングならいける
Oh, he's nice. He's pretty much using every weapon in his arsenal. It's a combination that Kinkaido used to use, and he was able to replicate it. Oh! Okay, someone just shot at him and stopped it. Oh! You gotta be kidding me. Okay. He's here too? And it's even the F-91. So like it's the Gundam, and even the Yamato's there. And Toya's like, that voice. And Kiddo's like, good job with that attack, but don't let your guard down. And Toby's happy because it really is Kinkaido. And Toya's like, oh, but you're not Kinkaido anymore. Because at the end of the Jupiter Empire war, the first one, Kinkaido, he was using an alias just for the battle against the Jupiter Empire. And since it was over, he went back to being just Seabook Anno. but it looks like he's reusing his alias again, once again. And I guess they're going to discuss about why he's come back later. But for now, they need to stop the Jupiter Empire. So they're using the Hayabusa to stop any enemies that approaches Yamato, but they're making the Vanguards and Gundam go ahead and take care of the front line. So the Cosmo Falcon squad is going to be just supporting the Yamato for now. And yeah, Toby is just telling everyone that Amakusa has Amuro copy brain, bio brain. Sanada already knows what's going on. He's like, huh. He's a legendary air pilot, and they must have gotten his battle data and somehow copied it onto the bio brain. So it's like, well, that's not surprising from the second in command, the science officer. And Amuro, the first Gundam pirate. And Tobia's, Kinkadu's like saying to Tobia that as Earth's final Gundam pilots, they can't lose. That is interesting. I didn't think the F-91 would be joining us. F-91 used to be my first favorite Gundam back when I was a kid, so it's interesting to see that. But he's probably not going to be doing much this time, just because, his abilities are pretty low compared to the other three. I'm probably going to kill this guy with the Yamato. Yeah, this should be easy. So it looks like the Yamato has a new attack that lets them use Cosmo Falcons. And Octo's commented on the fact that despite it being an actual base, there's not a lot of enemies. So he's a little suspicious about whether or not the Jupiter Empire is really making their move now. Sweet. That's fun. Alright, let's move him over here. I'm probably going to want to use his skills, so I'm going to make him use that and that, just because his abilities are not as high as the other characters, I don't think. Let's see what I could do, actually. Okay, I can't use that yet, the Vesper. Okay, you use the beam saber, which is the strongest weapon, and the beam rifle is next. The mega machine cannon, and the head Valken cannons. Alright, let's use the beam saber. Yeah, this should work. So Kinkade is saying, like, if the fight with the Jupiter Empire doesn't finish, then Cecily will always be Bella Rona. A little reference to the Crossbone Gundam series and F91 series as well. So he'll battle as Kinkade now for now.
お前たちのやっていることは貴族主義と変わりがない。無駄に動くから。
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
やつだけはこの手で。白い悪魔に裁きの雷を。
He's calling the F91 the White Devil. He is a Gundam after all, so that doesn't really surprise me. Okay, so let's go here. Defeat this one.
ルートは見えている。爆発する。
Yep. Sweet. Oh, I got a magnet coating parts. Okay, so Beam Zamber. So this is probably the new attack that he learned just now. It might be a little overkill, so let's see what this does. Oh no, I can't reach him. Okay, don't really want to kill him. I kind of want to kill the other one, so let's do this. All right. Okay, so yeah, there's Amakusa and 2 more units left. Sweet. Okay, 100%, 0%. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to finish him off, possibly. So it was like, this thing's just a machine. It's not the same as the hero that tried to stop the meteor from falling on Earth. He wants to stop anything that's tainting the hero's past life. So that's the hammer. And yeah, awesome. Nice. Okay. Yeah, levels up. Oh. I guess defeating that made all the other enemies leave. Kinda shouldn't have done that because I could use a little bit more EXP, even if I'm like super overpowered. Oh well. Enemy withdrawing. Yeah, I guess they're the enemy is abandoning the base. And Jupiter Empire's like, impossible. The Amakusa. Okay, it is the good job, Tobiya. But the bio brain that was inside the unit retreated. I guess it had an escape pod of its own or something. And Soji's like, forget about that, let's just take out the actual base. Slay the base. So they were able to destroy some of the part of the base that was making the biobrains. But this soldier, they thought all the soldier had escaped, but this soldier stayed behind because I guess the only thing that was important to this soldier was the Amakusa, and now that it's gone, he's trying to commit suicide and trying to take them along as well. Oh, he pushed his self-destruct button for the base. And the Empire soldier is saying that they can't escape because he's already locked down the escape routes, the hatch. Zeke Jupiter, and he's still saying glory to Crux Dugachi, which he was supposed to be dead at the end of the first Jupiter War, so that's another interesting thing. Oh, I guess he shot himself. So they're trying to find an escape route, but looks like Tobiya just got a new type voice in his head. And he's been told where to go, I guess. So Yamato's detecting that the base is about to blow up, and Kota is trying to get a hold of Tobiya and Murakumo. Shima's like, oh, they didn't make it, but Kenkido's, nope, they did. They're fine. And they're like, Koda's like, oh, how did you make it out alive? And Tobi's like, yeah, we didn't think we could. But Kenkido, I guess, knows who saved them. Ah, so the bio brain helped them escape. So they were saying like, we need to collect that before the Jupiter Empire collects it and reuses it, but Soldier's like, I don't think we need to worry about that. And they just confirmed that the bio brain just stopped. I think it's dead. So obviously, despite it all, he still, I guess, had some Amuro Ray's personality. Huh. I didn't realize it, but I guess he just got his a scar on his face, and it looks like it's gonna be permanent. And Toby's like, oh, I look more like a pirate now. And Soldier's like, you might be a space pirate, but even you had trouble against the legendary new type, eh? And Toby's asking if Soldier knows why the BioBrain helped them out. So one of the legends of Amuro is that using his new type power, he was able to guide some of his friends from the burning up space space fortress and help them escape. I'm guessing that's in the end of the First Year War, I think. Because I think that's the Baoku fight. I don't really recall too much about the First Year War as much. So Belnadette is like, do you think that the BioBrain was just copying Amuro? And so she's like, possibly. And Tori's like, that was supposed to be just a machine. Just a battle copy. But somehow it got the same heart as Amuro. And Soldier's like, yeah, they don't know why that happened, but if it was a complete copy of the new type, then they can't really say what part of the new type is actually power and what part is the actual heart of the pilot. And Soldier's Belnadette's like, asking Soji if he thinks machines have hearts as well. And Soldier's like, no, do you think I really think about that kind of hearts, like difficult things? And Belnadette's like, yeah, they were right. He's not happy that she accepted that just right away. So they were able to destroy the base, well, kind of, partly because they self-destructed, but they're hoping that that kind of decreased the Empire's fighting ability. So now they want to try and stop them. But this person is saying like, no, we might not need to do that. So Bella is also here too. So Bella was the leader of the Crossbone Vanguard back in the Jupiter Empire First War. He was leading the Crossbone Vanguard against the Jupiter Empire. She's also from F91 as well, and her kind of... she's supposed to be truly Bella Rona, the original kind of nobles that created the Crossbone Vanguard back in F91, but she didn't really accept it during the F91 series. But somehow, because one thing led to another, she accepted the name. But after the war, she went back to being kind of a nobody as Sisso, and stayed with Seabrook to live out their lives happily. But it looks like they're back. Yeah, so Toby was about to correct calling her Captain Bella, but they're like, yep. I think it really depends. Like, it does have some interesting stuff. Even if you've only watched Eva, there's some funny interaction between the different series. But above all, you get to see some very nice animations of like Eva attacks and all that stuff. So personally, I think it's a game worth getting if you're a fan of any of the series. So they're saying like because the fight against Jupiter Empire is still going on, there's still Bella and Kinkadu for now. So Bella asking why they don't need to worry about the Jupiter Empire, but then Tobiya is asking what are they doing in Jupiter to begin with, and why are they in Yamato now? So they're about to explain it. So about 2 months ago, they were living in the underground city on Earth, but apparently someone from Jupiter came running away from Jupiter. And I guess this person was against the Jupiter Empire making a military action, so he was one of the few people on Jupiter trying to stop that, and he came to them for some reason. So they came to her, Bella, because they know that she was the leader of the Crossbone Vanguard, and wanting her to stop the Jupiter Empire. So, and Kinkadu asked the SNRI, they're the company that made the F-91 Gundam and also the Crossbone Gundam, but he asked them to have the F-91 ready, and I guess they came to Jupiter to try and help the resistance. And Tobiya's asking why they didn't ask Tobiya and the rest of the Crossbone Vanguard pirates to join them. Especially since they were hoping that the two of them will live happily ever, despite the fact that their world is coming to the end. They were hoping that they didn't have to, like, Kinkadu and Bella doesn't have to fight anymore, but Kinkadu is saying like they're responsible for trying to end the war against the Jupiter Empire. So they're there to stop the old ghosts of Jupiter Empire from coming back, and he thinks Kinkadu should be doing something more important. Oh, apparently the base that they just destroyed was the last of the Jupiter Empire's military. Yeah, so yeah, that was the last of the Jupiter Empire that was left. So they don't understand what was going on, because it didn't seem like that was much of a military force on Jupiter. But apparently the reason why there's not much of Jupiter Empire presence on Jupiter is because they're not even in Jupiter. So they're wondering where they went, but apparently they went out of the solar system. I guess they don't know why they left. And one of the theories is because Earth is almost dead from Gamela's attack, so they must have lost interest. Especially since the whole reason that they attacked Earth back in the Jupiter War was because of Crux Dugach's personal vendetta. So yeah, they think that's why, since the Jupiter Empire was pretty self-sufficient, I think they decided to leave the solar system and find some other place to live. And so just like they were expecting a huge battle on Jupiter Empire, so they're kind of surprised. But Kinkade is like, oh, you should save that for later. And there's something else in Jupiter that's a much bigger threat. So there is a Gamela's base here. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be what the next episode is going to be about. Alright, so intermission. As I said in the last episode, I'll stop it here. I don't think watching me customize the units will be very interesting, especially since I got so much money. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye!